So I wanted to go with some friends of mine to a networking event. So I got some friends, and we were originally going to go to a networking event that I had shared, but it I had apparently bought not bought, but signed up for the last ticket to go. So they all couldn't go. Then one of my other friends said, "There's another one that just popped up." It popped up the same day because I was like, "How did I not see this in my networking email list?" That's interesting. So we all prepared to go. It was a total of four of us, and I'm leaving the other networking event to go to this one. Waiting on my friends. It's getting towards the start of the event, which starts at 7. We go in to the door. Someone opens the door for us, and he's like, "Are you here for the overview?" And we're like, "Overview? No, we're here for the networking event." He's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, third floor." And in my mind, I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure." So continue on, go up the stairs. Then there's a guy waiting for us at the door. He is like very hype and welcoming. Then he directs us to the front desk ladies. We told them about the Eventbrite and the name and everything, and they were like, "Eventbrite?" They didn't even know what was going on. So then it's still, sketchy. So we are then passed off to another person. It's like just a lot of passing off of people. So passed off to another lady that was going to escort us and or give us a tour of the building. It was a broker's building. And then she's like, "I'm going to give you a tour. Maybe you'll be a good fit for us, or or maybe not." What? Again, very odd. So up to this point, there's three things. Three things that have happened that it's like, what the heck is this? I thought this was a networking event. So as we are standing with the lady, and she's telling us this, we can see into the distance, which is where I thought we were gonna go, which is where we did go. There's people standing there talking. So I'm like, okay, that's where the networking event is, but why is everybody in there? So then we're given these red name tags, okay, with our name, and then um who we're here with or who brought us. We signed up on Eventbrite, so whoever put the Eventbrite, we put his name was at the bottom of our red name tag. So then we go into the space, and they're talking. They're getting started with the event. So it's a guy who has on a microphone thing, and he's on a platform, and I don't know. It felt like a church, and he was talking about Amazon and how they're the trailblazers of package delivery and all these different things, and that their brokerage is the same thing, but for brokerages is easy. And another thing that was odd. So once we walked in to the the main place where all the people were talking, there were people in business casual wear, and it kind of was like they like parted for us to go to the front. So there's people on so say there's a room, and obviously and the room has four walls. There were people on every wall besides the front, because that's where the stage was, or the platform. And not everybody had on a red tag, but every single person that had on a red tag was not a part of this brokerage. Okay, so he's giving this spiel. He's pointing people out exactly that had on red tags. Everybody behind us did not. Again, they parted for us to go into the front. They wanted us in the front because we were new. We were fresh meat. Okay? So after we leave that, and I no, let me go back. So then they call up two people. One is a CEO, and one is like someone that's done a really, really good job in the business and is moving up fast. So then they introduce them, and then we are passed off to those two guys. There were, of all the fresh meat people with red name tags, there were probably like eight. Yeah, I think about eight people. Three women, being me, my partner, my friend. Oh, I guess there's only four of us. Wow, I cannot count. It's okay because we'll move on, we'll move forward. But one of my friends didn't get in, luckily. And so we're escorted into, we're going down this hallway into another room, and we're all confused because we're like, when does the networking start? Why are we going into this other room with these people? So then as we're walking, we're like prepping for survival. Like, okay, you have this task, you have this task, here's how we're gonna escape type deal. So we're going down the hallway, we're being escorted into an office with a screen, and it's like a conference room. So it's the CEO and then the guy that's moving up very fast. Still, we're like, they're telling us we can get snacks. There was just some nuts and waters and such. So then I was like, okay, yeah, sure. So then he starts talking, CEO starts talking to us, and he's like, we don't want to waste your time, or I don't want to waste your time. But it was funny that he said that because he did. He wasted our time in the time that he told us that he was not wasting our time, because he talked about that for like 60 seconds. You've wasted my time in 60 seconds. If you say, I don't want to waste your time, then get into it. But after he said that he was going to talk to us for 45 minutes. And at this point, I'm like, 45 minutes? What do y'all need to talk to us about for 45 minutes? So he talked for about 20. The fast moving guy talked for about 25 minutes. They went through a presentation about insurance and that you won't be doing cold calls and all these things. And I'm like, okay, okay, this is interesting. And they were asking all the right questions. They were appealing to the audience. Oh yeah, another thing to mention. So when we went into the big room with all of the people, oh, another, see, there's just so many things I keep thinking about. So when we're in the room with all the people and we're all the fresh meat folks are in the front, the like as the guy's up on the stage talking and he finishes talking, the people behind us and around us are like cheering. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? It was everything about it just was like, this is off. This is off putting. This doesn't feel like a networking event to me. And then um it was nothing. This isn't a red flag, but it didn't feel right. It didn't feel, it was unsettling. Okay. It was nothing, or there's besides two, including the CEO, there was nothing but people of color. Nothing but people of color. Keep that for later. Okay, so yeah, there were nothing but people of color, which isn't a red flag like in general, but it didn't feel right for where we were and what we were doing. And you probably like, but like I said, keep that information for later. We're in the room. He's presenting, the CEO. Then he's talking about his background and he's trying so hard to relate to us. And yeah, I there were many times that I just wanted to laugh because it's like, what is going on right now? He finishes in another part. it- He's talking so fast and like sales type fast, if you know what I'm talking about. And when he gets finished, oh, there was one thing he said where he was like, when he was talking about his background and trying to relate to us, he was like, I was on powdered milk and all these things. And then he asked if any of us had to deal with that. And none of us in the room we were like, no, we haven't had that experience. And there was something that he said where he kind of assumed that's what was going on. Like, he assumed that's what was going on with us, is that we were just all struggling brown skinned folks. So I wanted to laugh. There are many times I wanted to laugh. I held myself back. And after talking to my friends after the fact, they also wanted to laugh many, many times. So after he gets done talking, he brings up the guy. The guy, I could see him in the corner of my eye. His knee was moving like crazy. So I'm like, okay, he's a bit nervous, which is fine. You can be nervous in presenting to people, but I peeped it. So after he gets done, I'm sorry, after the CEO gets finished, he leaves the room. He does his spiel. He's doing his presentation, going through slides, talking about insurance and entrepreneurship, and you don't have to cold call. All of the clients that they have come from referrals and social media and all these things. Okay. I was open minded. I was open minded when I went in there because I'm like, okay, I know what this is. And the CEO even mentioned, he was like, in his um in his spiel, he was talking about how someone came up to him after the housing market crash, or when the economy crashed in 2008 or whenever the heck it was. And he was like, someone came up to him and told him that, or asked him if he wanted to make money. And then they brought him to a meeting and he was thinking it was a pyramid scheme. When he said that, I was like, okay, this is something that they tell you to say. So that's one of the points, another point where I wanted to laugh. Now, going to the other guy, let's just call him Paul, okay? Just for the sake of me not saying the guy that was moving up so fast, because it's a lot of words to say. So, Paul was the guy that was moving his knee in the back. And he comes up and he brings all this energy. And it's like, okay, hi, Paul. And he continues to spiel. And you can tell that this is a presentation that they have practiced over and over and over and over again, and or that they have done over and over and over again. And again, like the lady said in the beginning that told us if we're a good fit for you, he said it too. The CEO said it and Paul said it too. And he goes through the rest of the slides and he's telling us his background, um, and that he worked at one place before, and I don't know if he got recruited there or just got picked up, or maybe he was enticed by the CEO, but they had met because Paul sold him a car at the dealership because that's where he was working. Anywho, it was fine. We're interacting. It was okay. He was still going through his the slides and everything, but I was learning something about finance and about how money works and all these things. So when he gets done, I hear voices outside. So I'm like, okay, they must be finished. Mind you, throughout the entire presentation, even when the CEO was up there, you could hear music in the other room. You could hear people cheering. I'm like, where are we? Come to find out, in the first 15 minutes of the CEO talking, we were at a PHP agency um, event. That's why I said it's a cult, because of all of the tactics that they use and are using. The reason why I said it was a red flag about just seeing nothing but people of color is because PHP agencies, after reading and then after just experiencing it myself, they target vulnerable people. And that's not to say that all brown skin or people of color are vulnerable people. That is not at all what I'm saying. My friends and I, we weren't this the BS that they were feeding us. We were only taking pieces of it and taking and seeing what we could do with it for ourselves. If anything, it made me want to help people more. What they're doing, yes, it could help you, but the majority of people don't make a lot of money. There was a stat. a document that went out in 2022, I'm pretty sure, that was a compensation summary of PHP and the people that work there. It said 46%, I think. It was around 40 something. 46% of people that work there, based off of commissions, made less than $1,000. 46%. I've been in a multi marketing what am I multi level marketing agency before. I've worked for one before. That's why I was like, these things don't feel right. It doesn't feel right to me here. They're targeting vulnerable people that need money, that need, I mean, let me rephrase that, that need to provide for their families, or need to make ends meet, because they kept talking about, can you relate to this, can you relate to this. I don't know, it felt very salesy, and it felt very culty to me, and I didn't like it. I wanted to laugh many times because I was uncomfortable. So fast forward a little bit, we get done with the presentation, and there's honestly no time for questions, it seems, because Paul was like, all right, and he starts walking towards the door. I'm like, hold on, Paul, I got questions. So I'm like, so this is the flow. So you spend a 2 second, or you spend a short time on these, writing up this doc so that you can get money. Before that, you're getting referrals. Like, I'm just trying to, they're making it seem like it's so great and so wonderful. And I was asking about the other side of it. Like, it doesn't just take 30 seconds to fill out this thing. You have to do work before that. Talk about that. But like, they're hyping up so many things, and no one's really asking the important, well, let me not say no one. We, the women, were. We were asking the questions. There were people in there who I think were probably just out of space, because I honestly forgot that they were there because they were so quiet. And then, I'm interacting with him, and he is probably impressed that we're asking these questions, these common sense questions, and understanding this is not they're enticing you with all the money, and all you can afford cars, and you can provide for your family with two girls and all these things. But there's also so many downsides, because for you to really make money, you need to recruit other people. So if you're not sure what an MLM is, it's multi-level marketing. You make money from the people that you recruit and join. So say that you have, um, say that there's me, okay, and then I bring on four of my friends. Now there's a total of five of us. So there's me at the top, and then four of my friends here at the bottom that are under me. If they bring in people, then I get a piece of their pie. Well, not even just them bringing in people, but just let's just stick with the simplicity. So you have four people under me. If they recruit people, or they do, they get policies or whatever it is, I get a piece of their pie here at the top. Now, if one of my friends recruits people, they get a piece of the pie for the people that they bring, but I also get a piece of theirs. So the person at the top is always a person that's going to get the most money. The more people that you recruit, the more money you should make. I don't know if anything that I've said makes you feel like, it makes you think that it's a cult, but it is. They use psychological tactics to get you there, to keep you there, to keep you vulnerable. And after that whole thing, it took me like 2 days to really process what had happened, and that, I don't know, I felt like I had survived a cult, because they wanted you. So after they got done with the presentation, there was a blue card on the table, and on the blue card, it had two options on there. One was like, are you interested in joining the agency, or are you interested in insurance? There was no Nothing on there that said, we're not interested. My friends and I, we did not fill it out. We got up as we're exiting the room. I'm not sure what the exact events that happened, but Paul called me a little girl to the people that were outside. I said, little girl. And then as we're walking out, he's like, he reached out his hand for the blue car. He's like, "Where's your blue car?" I said, "I didn't fill it out." He's like, oh, "Okay, you done goof, Paul, but I'm gonna get to know you because I want to learn. I want to know about you, sir. Who are you? Are you okay?" And that's a question that I asked the person that made the Eventbrite. We left, and all of the people that like all of the agents were sort of in line. And as you were coming out of the room, you kind of got passed off to your agent. Mind you, all of the cheering and music and all that stuff that was happening, they were getting hyped up, I think, before they grabbed us. So it's my friends and I were with, let's just call him David. We go towards David. David's very quiet, seems very, maybe shy. He's very soft spoken. And we're like, David. But at first, I was like, I have questions for you, David. And then he's like, what's your questions? I said, I didn't even know what to say, but I had so many. I was like, are you okay? How are you? Because they target vulnerable people for this agency. He said he's been working there for 3 years or so. And I should have asked him what tier he was on because in the presentation, they were talking about tiers and how you could get past a tier in a short amount of time. They're just making it very enticing. But I wanted to ask him, like, how does this actually work? Like, are you really okay? Okay? Are you trapped? Blink twice if you need help. So then it's just my friends and I, and we're asking him questions, and he honestly looked so defeated because in his Eventbrite, it was not truthful. It wasn't truthful. His Eventbrite said something and then networking something and then business professional. So we're thinking, yeah, it's a networking event. And then in the description, it did mention about entrepreneurship and wanting to make money and all these things, but like that doesn't tell us that it's an MLM overview. And I went on in a rabbit hole after the event because I'm like, I had never heard of this place before. I've seen the founder. I've seen him around on social media, but I didn't know who he was really and what he does. So I started looking on YouTube videos. I started getting on Reddit and just looking and reading about people's experiences, and it's not great. Do your own research. PHP, people helping people, or what I've seen by Marco, I think, people helping Patrick, which is the one of the founders. They are targeting vulnerable people, and that doesn't sit right with me. So I was after the event, like I said, I had to take time to process because this wasn't right, and it's not right. Because if their big thing was entrepreneurship, you can own your own business because they don't own you. But I'm pretty sure after, let's say that you leave PHP, your clients don't come with you. Their clients are with PHP. So if you can put all the time and energy into PHP and recruiting people, you might as well start your own business and own everything. And I saw a video that said that you have to pay for your way to all of the PHP events. And I think she said that they were required. crazy. I'm sure I missed something, but that was the gist. It was an eye opener for me in wanting to continue to help people. But yeah, that was, it just seemed like every part of that meeting, everything was thought out, was placed a certain way. From the time that somebody welcomes you at the bottom to the time that someone welcomes you at the top to escort you into to the front desk, to the people at the front desk, to the people that escort you into the room. Like, yeah. So the things that I did learn from the actual presentation was about index something. Hold on. Let me look. Indexed funds. Yeah, indexed. And just doing my own research on annuities and fixed index annuities and index universal life. Looking at this stuff myself because nah, but out. Nah, but out. So yeah, that was the experience that I've had. I can now say that I escaped a cult. Well, I guess it's not the first time, if you know what I mean. But yeah, escaped a cult. Read the descriptions. Um, listen to your gut. If your gut is telling you it's not okay, then it's probably not. Hmm. So yeah,